Welcome everybody here to the greatest stream in Counter-Strike Go, primarily because it's done by us. This is the CSGO Championship Series. I'm Toby1, joined by my Canadian friend, Sadicist.
Good to be here. You excited to be doing some Counter-Strike for a change?
I'm actually massively excited to do this. I haven't seriously cast an FPS in over 5 years.
Yeah, you did a couple games in 2012 for
that's true. That's true.
I think everyone remembers.
There was a couple of highlight clips made off that. It was so wonderful to watch those again and realize just how stupid I was being.
I think actually one of the NIP highlight clips made it into Tweeday's top 20 or HLTV's top 20. One of the two.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right.
That was that was the Freiburg one, not Freiburg one.
Right. It was on Dust 2. I can't remember who the player was.
Yeah,
it might have been Forrest.
Yeah, it was Forrest.
Yeah,
it was Forrest. That's
go.
right. And he got the last shot through window on the B side. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
yes. He also did some other short clips with Markov.
Yeah.
With his wonderful one, which was completely over exaggerated, which we're going to try to avoid tonight.
Right, because we are going to see him tonight. So we're starting things off with our qualifiers. The winners of the two qualifying groups will move forward and play against the 6 invited teams. Tonight, we're only going to get to see one of the two matches. The match with Hellraisers has been moved to tomorrow. But there's the way it started off. It was Hellraisers versus Space Soldiers. Property actually losing out to Gamers 2. I had Property tipped to win that one. Mousesports took down Peter and then Case King and FlipSid. And that's the game we're going to see tonight, Mousesports versus FlipSid.
But on the bright side, it just means tomorrow you get to start a little bit earlier and we'll just run the CSGO train all the way through into the grand final tomorrow night. So we've got 4 days as well of Counter-Strike Go, which should be absolutely fantastic.
Right, this weekend, and then in a couple weeks' time, we continue on with the actual league play of the what will be 8 teams. So like I said, tonight, it's FlipSid, Mousesports, 2 interesting teams. FlipSid, a newer roster. I'm yet to be convinced of where exactly they sit in, but they've impressed me so far. And then Mousesports, who's been kind of on the decline lately, failed to qualify for ESL. There's a look at their roster there. Legia, Chris J, Gobby, Nico, and Tabson.
Are we really expecting great things from Mousesports? So you're saying they're on the decline. Are we looking for them to prove something tonight?
Well, they just added Nico today permanently, replacing Troubley, who's gone over to Penta. So we'll see how he does. He's played a couple matches with them. He played an ESEA match with them last week on Cash. They actually won that one, if I'm not mistaken. I think it was actually against Property. But Chris J is an outstanding AWP player. If he can come and play well, I mean, he's known as Online J. The team's known as an online team. If they can show up tonight, they have a chance to beat FlipSid, and there's their roster. And I think it's a mighty impressive roster under a new organization. Yeah,
we're actually talking about this before, about how many AWPers as well there's just inside the line, but they've mixed themselves up a little bit. So Markelov, who I always remembered as an AWPer, is actually taking a back seat now in their roster.
That's right. The primary AWPer's been World Edit. He's been on fire. Fact of the matter is he was actually made an offer by Hellraisers. He turned it down because he wanted to stay under the leadership of Blade. Yep. Blade is one of the most underrated in-game leaders in Counter-Strike. He's absolutely spot on. He's been doing wonderful things with the T side of this team. They're very T-oriented so far. In fact, by their own admission, their CT side is a little bit weaker. And then you've got the 17-year-old Simple, who is still serving an ESL ban. That's why he was unfortunately not invited back or dismissed, I guess you could say, from the Hellraisers roster. And Markelov was actually dropped by them because he hasn't been the standout that he's been known for. He hasn't been superstar Markelov, but he brings a lot of experience to this roster, and I still think he packs a heavy punch. Like you say, he may not be in that AWP role, but you give that guy a rifle, he's still going to do damage. So that roster, as they continue to grow, I really think have kind of like the Team Liquid in North America, have a lot of potential to improve.
I'm looking forward to seeing how they perform tonight. For me, it's almost a fresh start. As most people probably know on the live stream, I don't know much of the history of the players. But I'm here to learn.
You're going to be an expert by the time we're done.
I'm looking forward, man. With your notes as well, we just like dig through it all. It's like eventually by the end of this, professional CSGO caster.
Yeah.
Now, maybe not
Dota's,
so much.
You're not going back.
No, I'm going back.
This is the black hole of gaming. You've been sucked into Counter-Strike.
I don't have to go back because I haven't fully come over. Like can I not play both sides of a fence?
No,
does it have to even be a fence?
I mean, we can maybe put a hole in the picket fence for you to stick your head through every now and then. We'll see. Stick your head through back to Dota. Of course, you're staying with Counter-Strike.
Let's actually look at our maps right now. So to help understand this, the teams will ban out 1 map apiece. So it looks like Mousesports has actually taken out Overpass. They banned out first. And FlipSid actually take out Dust 2.
Right. And then where it's not a full ban, this allows that you basically have to ban what you think is the most fearsome map to play against. FlipSid actually really liked Dust 2, but they took it out because Mousesports are very good on it. It's Chris J's favorite map to play. this meant that Cobblestone could then be picked up. And I'm actually really surprised to see that Cobblestone was picked by Mousesports, because I don't know if they're aware of this. FlipSid love playing Cobblestone. So we're actually seeing two teams that want to play Cobblestone. It's under a slightly revised version, and we'll get to that in a minute. But then, of course, Inferno was banned, Cash, and then that left us with Nuke, of course, Mirage being the other picked up map.
Yeah. We're actually going to have a nice close look at the map as well, which is not in fact Dust 2 as it's saying on the overlay. This is in fact Cobblestone, which is where we're going to start our play. This map has undergone severe changes recently. Even we were having a bit of a walkthrough of the map again just to familiarize ourselves with it. And they've actually even modified the doors onto the A approach.
That's right. So the bottom mid door, Adren made a video saying it was too narrow, too tight.
You could only fit one person through.
Yeah, so they've taken out that second one, so you've got a better peek into A. Obviously, the B side, I haven't seen it played yet in competition. MLG was the last time I saw this map. In the final, it actually was the gold medal decider. Little lackluster, disappointing in that regard. But I think the new version is corrected. I don't know if it's perfect yet, but we've got to play it to find out. It looks a lot better. The B entrance, the longer hallway, forcing that defender that can't stay up close by the flower pot. He can't just sit and watch Skyfall and the entrance at the same time. He's got to fall off it. That forces another player over to help him with Skyfall from the window. I mean, it just changes the whole chemistry of the defense.
That maneuver, yeah, you got the two defense players there, but the attack is so much more open because now you can just run through that B platform area, and you're almost basically on top of the bomb site.
Right, and the other thing is, based on spawns, right at the corner of where that new B hall ends and enters into the bomb site, that's almost where the teams are going to meet up.
Yep.
So it's really going to be interesting to see how aggressive it's going to be, if that's going to be smoked off with a pre-smoke, either from spawn. I'm not sure you can hit it from CT spawn. You can bounce it off the back wall and be close, but as you're coming into the site, lob a smoke over, flash it. That's going to be a hot spot all game long. And the other aspect of that is I think it's going to be more B-sided, but it leaves A a little more vulnerable because I think you're going to have to put a lot more defensive presence onto that B site.
Yeah, no, it's going to be a learning process for us all. Right now, as far as people who are looking to predict the result of this game,
the Masters,
there's still actually a lot of faith here in Mousesports, with 45% going their way, 55% still going to lean towards FlipSid.
Yeah, and it is, to me, it is a toss-up. Mousesports obviously has been a team for longer. We said it, they're kind of on the decline. They've had a lot of, since December, Alu's now gone, went to 3D Max. Everyone knows now he's on NIP. Kerrigan went over to then Dignitas, now Team Solo Mid, and now they've just lost Troubly. And I mean, I'm trying to think, they actually had another player that stood in. Gobby was the original stand-in at ESEA Land, but they had another, I mean, they've had so many roster changes, I can't even name them all. And that just, it breaks up team chemistry. It means you have to rebuild. It means you have to find each other again. Whereas FlipSid looks very good, like I've said. They've yet to really cement themselves or give me an indication of where they fully stand. They lost 0-2 to NIP. Not too long ago, but they went 1-1 with Copenhagen Wolves. They've taken incredible, in fact, Simple on a Inferno map the other day took 50 kills, and I believe that was against Fnatic, if I'm not mistaken. So they lost that series 2-1 based on some internet connection issues on Nuke, but they show individually they've got all the skill in the world. They just need to continue to build as a team, and with Blade, it's very possible.
Well, man, I actually want to see also the way he controls this. Where we've got Mousesports starting on CT side by the looks of it. So starting on CT, the shot caller, he's all about making sure when they're going to rotate over, and how easy is it going to even to rotate on this map? Because once you lose Skyfall, you kind of get cut off with the pass. Because then you've actually got to work your way through these B doors on this connector. How are you supposed to get back without flanking all the way through and then trying to what, take an A bomb site?
The good news is flanking through is a little bit quicker, where they've straightened out those B halls. But you're right, you have to fight a contest in connectors. So once the execution or the entry kills are successful, if they're successful on B, it becomes all about the retake, and it's all about swift execution. I'm not sure who plays B for either of these teams on this map. Obviously, we haven't seen a lot of them on this map. But their efficiency is going to be strong. Staying alive to allow that rotation to come in is going to mean everything for those players, like you say, that have to fight their way back to that bomb site. Yeah. And by the way, just to mention, it was actually against Virtus Pro that the 50 kills came from Simple, not Fnatic. I knew it was one of the top-tier teams, but...
well, if you're ever concerned, just ask the Brains Trust, a.k.a. Twitch chat.
That's right. Of course.
They're here for us. And shout out to everyone who is tuning in inside the PGL live stream. I hope you're actually going to really enjoy the whole series we have planned, because it's not just going to be this one game today. We have a crap ton of games coming up for the open qualifier teams playing up against our first level of invite teams. Then we've got our big group stage, which is coming up over the next couple of weeks as well. And then the big LAN finals to be held at DreamHack Bucharest, where only four teams out of these great teams are going to qualify for that LAN final.
Yeah, that's right. And that's in about 6 weeks' time toward the end of April. And I mean, where the fact that it's only 4 and the teams that are in the pool, it's ridiculous. Anything can happen on the lead up to that. And I mean, everyone's got to show up every game, because one loss here or there might be just enough to take you out of it.
Well, hopefully the players will finish warming up shortly. We do actually have all 10 players in the lobby, which is a good start. I said lobby. All right, I apologize for any Dota 2 terms.
Accept it.
I will say gold.
Yeah, I was going to say, the one thing I've always been called out on is I called money gold one game.
Yep.
And I never lived it down.
That's
so be careful with that.
You passed Dota one game.
One game.
And bad habit was never dropped, huh?
Never.
Either that or you're like a Diablo man.
Nah, I'm not a big Diablo guy. Can't say. And my brother plays Diablo. I make fun of him for it. I enjoy the game. I can't be bothered to play it.
Fair enough. Then again, you don't play Minecraft either, so shame on you.
All right, fair. Jeez. I thought we were going to be friends.
Well, we can be, but not during the broadcast.
All right, that's fine.
It's just like gamers.
Gamers
that come together. It's like, sorry,
it's a love-hate
on the battlefield,
relationship.
it's war. Like, I'm going to kill you, and that's the way it's going to end.
You only tease the one you love. I get it, Toby.
Yeah. Hey, you watched that chick flick movie?
Probably. That's my genre.
Oh.
The one thing to watch out for in this series, too, is Mirage is...
Wait, are they actually practicing the CT boost jump?
Oh, probably. I don't see why they wouldn't. The things have changed. I mean, that boost jump didn't exist before because you had the hole in the wall, so you would actually be able to do it yourself. Now things have changed. The one actually that's a positive change in that regard is the flower window in the mid connector. It just allows you to get up there without a second player, so you can cover off Skyfall a lot quicker.
And you get there so quicker because you don't have to go up the spiral staircase to get all the way in.
Right, well, which you would have to do if you didn't have a boost. Truthfully, it was quicker to go into B and come back to Skyfall than go around the spiral staircase anyway. That was just a useless spot. The other one that's a spot that was in the 1.6 version of Cobble that's non-existent anymore is right above where Chris J is standing right now in that CT heaven, that mid-heaven. It maybe created something interesting 1 in every 10 times someone went up there. Otherwise, it was just a useless spot, or someone never went there. So I don't miss it. I'm not nostalgic about it.
It doesn't look like it changes the map much. Like, you look at the map, and now everything's become a little bit more linear.
In fact, the most effective use that it had is someone getting up there unspotted and waiting for them to walk underneath. That was about all it was good for, truthfully.
Well,
because
that's a pub strat right there.
Yeah,
exactly. That's all it really is.
Actually, Happy did it for LDLC.
Really?
Envious. Yeah, he did it one round against NIP in the finals, so it was used, but again, I think it's a good thing to take away. It's just too many spots to check for the terrorists, and it just makes the entrances that much more.
There's another thing too, which Adrian was saying during his video, which, by the way, shout out to him. Fantastic information.
Yeah, Liquid Adren, of course. We will see the other Adren tomorrow, but
yep.
Yeah.
We have multiples.
Yep.
Wonderful. It's like having 2 Bruces turn up to a party. But the information video we had, and it was talking about that connection in the entry in through long A and as a T. Every corner is now really nicely, sharply done. So checking every single corner, you can do it one by one without thinking you're just going to get shot in the side of the head by a guy who's on the other side. So it's not this, we have to double check each side. Yeah, so for me, like I look at this map, the way it's been changed from the way I first discovered this map, which was actually back in 1.6, or Source. Sorry, I wasn't actually a pure 1.6 boy. Now I'm going to have a whole bunch of haters for me. But the way you approach it, like it's so much easier to now work your way through systematically into the site. You got more angles which you can manipulate as a T. That's what I'm interested in. Like, what are we even going to be looking at for the early round count for this map?
It was, I mean, it's always been CT-sided. NIP failed to get a single round against Envious at the MLGX games, whereas they got 5, I think, for them it was on their T side. I wouldn't be surprised 12-3, 11-4, but both these teams seem to want to play this. Obviously, it was picked by Mousesports, but it's definitely FlipSid. It's in their bag of tricks, so maybe they've got some strategies for it that we didn't get to see. Obviously, NIP doesn't ever play that map, so we never got a good feel. That and it's changed, and I think it's been changed in a positive way for the terrorists. Yeah. Which will allow for them to execute better on sites, a lot cleaner. Like you said, corners being squared off, doors in place.
That's a little bit more surprised. Like if you're expecting like a 12-3 result to come out for the CTs, I'm not so sure because all you got to do is basically split this team in half, and you never know what's going to happen with the CT defense. Like secure one site. How easy is the retake now? Either way, we're going to find out so we can finally get our first game of the CSGO Championship Series underway. Mousesports going up against FlipSid. Is it actually that? Or no, it's a secondary warm-up? No, we're doing knife round. That's it.
Of course, yeah.
So,
you got it.
To choose the side. I got there. I got there eventually, man. I got there eventually.
So before we cover the knife round, obviously you're going to want to start CT on this map. But this map's going to be interesting to me because when we go to Mirage, Chris J is very good on Mirage as well, as is Mousesports. Tabson's been a little bit lackluster on it, but when he plays up under Shadow, I'm not sure if he's going to be in that position. He can be a big reckoning force over at A, so that might go the way. I almost favor Mousesports on that. I know FlipSid has been working on a double op setup on that map. Yeah, and actually FlipSide's going to get this knife round, so they'll get the start they want. FlipSid has been working a new double op setup for that with World Edit and Markelov picking up the second op. But I think ultimately this could go 3 games if FlipSid win this. If FlipSid don't get this, I think Mousesports could take it in 2.
I'm going to play devil's advocate right now because wherever Markelov is, I kind of support.
You're going to cheer.
Yeah. He's just
fanboy in the house.
He's one of my favorite players. I actually don't have a favorite team, even though like I spend probably more time with the NIP guys than anybody else. Not in the scene, as in more than anybody else in the scene. Me spending time with them. But as far as like players that just have really quality play, like that's all I really search for. And Markelov for me always gave that to me. I know you said recently he's been on the decline, but I'm hoping I can be his like little leprechaun, and we'll see some awesome stuff from him this evening.
Yeah, I wouldn't say he's been on the decline. He just hasn't had any, like he's still putting in consistent score lines. He just hasn't had any major games that, make him stand out. Hellraiser's obviously, actually when Simple was on the roster, they went to him as the AWP, which is another thing we kind of briefly mentioned is that FlipSid has that many options to pick up AWPs or various sniper rifles.
Let's actually talk about the map as well. Like, how are you going to get an AWP? Like, is this a map where they can even exploit the fact they've got so many AWPs?
Yeah, and I think we'll still see, although you don't have quite the same angle to cover off that Forrest was playing for NIP, where he can watch both Skyfall and the B entrance. Yep. You'll have one there, and then NIP ran Michael Ailey over toward A. I think you can still easily split up an AWP on this map.
Is it really possible, though? Because it feels like the B site's a lot more compact now. It might be better to have, like, just the M4.
You're definitely going to have one at A still in the back. I think you still could play in the back corner of the B site, or if you get a quick enough spawn, you could beat them to that entrance point and op them as they're coming down the hallway. But I don't think the T sides need a double op. One for them would be more than enough.
Look how much they're committing towards this B site. Like, we've already got one going into Skyfall right now. FlipSid, they're going to be as defensive as they possibly can. We know we're still damn it to hell. I thought we restarted. We started again. Yeah, I got to watch that on the top.
It's all right. We're just getting you warmed up. We're giving you all the time you need, Togi.
Yeah. Chris J is taking me to where I should put those last little bits of words. Straight in the can, man. Straight in the can.
Yeah, no, this map is, you definitely can run a 2-op setup still and make it work. The other thing you might actually see, and I wouldn't be surprised one bit if we saw it, is an auto sniper in the B site. Again, playing up close if they get a fast enough spawn, get to that connection, that entrance, and fire around the corner. That could be really an absolutely potent weapon to deal with. So it's possible to see it. And again, it depends on economy, who gets the start. Obviously, it would be ideal if Mousesports could pick up the pistol round and make their job a little bit easier, hopefully get that 3-round spread. And then FlipSid and World Edit have to claw back in for him to get that AWP out.
Yeah. You know what? I was actually thinking that, like, cause moving from Dota 2, before we start a game, like, we've got a huge-ass draft phase that takes about 10 minutes to do.
Yeah.
I thought CSGO would be actually a little bit quicker to start.
Well, it typically is, all right? Let's not yell at our teams just yet.
Let's not judge it on one game.
No, absolutely. But these guys want to make sure they're readied up because the qualifier, I mean, you lose this series, it's all done. You have no chance to get into the league at all. And in fact, it's only one from each group. We only took a look at today's group. There's another 8 teams that played in the other group that we're going to see tomorrow. Yeah. And 2 of which of the total 16 teams that are attempting to qualify will make it through. So, I mean, it does matter. It's important. It's $110,000. It goes to DreamHack. It's a pretty big deal.
It is. It is. And the fact, like, it's a single elimination bracket, too. Like, there's no second chances. You win this best of 3 or you don't. As we switch to Dust, which I'm fairly certain we're not meant to be doing.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, because we're starting on Cobblestone.
You want to talk about choke points and one-sided maps? More so than Nuke, I would say. Dust 1? Oh, yeah.
Dude, hang on. No, you say Dust 1?
It was going to Dust 1.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was not Dust 2. It would have been nice.
Does anyone, like, is Dust 1 even in map rotations anymore?
No. Actually, interestingly enough, when CSGO first came out, it was played, I think think in ESEA's first season they played Dust 1 because there was some slight changes. There wasn't that many maps available yet to the game. That was all you were ever going to see from it. That was more of a, hey, we have a new game. We really want to play it. We don't have maps. Let's play Dust 1. So that's all that really was.
That's good.
Another map. It's never going to be there again. I know you're nostalgic right now.
I really am. Like I remember
you want Prodigy back?
We were talking about maps. I want to say other teams from Australia that I want to have back.
Okay.
Bring me back archaic gaming.
What's Australia?
You know this place down the bottom of the world?
Oh, it's in the bottom of the world.
Yeah, the place where we can't connect to any
CSGO
major
standings.
competitions unless we actually fly somewhere. But don't worry, there is a new team on
I
the field
know.
from Australia.
They're looking very good. They're actually in a fairly decent group. I think Group C looks really good for ESL. CLG, them, Fnatic, Hellraisers. There we go. Nailed it.
Well done.
And Hellraisers has been struggling lately. Vox, CLG head-to-head. It's going to be... I'm going to favor CLG, and Fnatic's obviously going to get out of the group. So I think CLG's got a better chance than Cloud9 to get out of the groups, actually. Who's Cloud9, by the way, already over here in Europe, boot camping at the ESL house, are hoping to prove me wrong. But, I mean, Vox has a chance. If they pull off a win against CLG, it could easily be them going through. I mean, Hellraisers will put up a good fight against both those teams and could easily beat either of them. But the way they're playing lately, I just don't see them getting out of the group.
Well, let's not worry about them right now, because we'll worry about them a week later.
That's right.
We're back inside the game. So FlipSid and Mousesports, they've all reconnected back inside the game as we change back to our first map of the night. I still can't believe we're casting this. Like, I can believe it after the changes, but like as I was doing my prep work like 2 weeks ago before the map changes, before I was aware of them, and Cobblestone was on like the lowest on my list of maps to properly learn.
Oh, I actually lied. Vox is in Group A. It's former Kaboom that's in Group C.
Ah, crap. So Vox
I
is
knew
screwed.
it was one of the foreign teams. I messed it up.
So Vox is screwed?
Yeah, I don't know who's in Group A. I have to look that up.
No, Vox isn't screwed. Vox is going to do the tribute to all Australians.
All right, fair
You
enough.
always come from behind as the underdog. That's the way the Australians like it.
Yeah.
That's the way it should be.
I knew it was one of the off-continents in Group C, and then as I was thinking about it, I was like, oh, wait.
Is this right?
Have I shot myself? My prediction still stands in that group, though, but I actually think it'll be CLG over the Keyed Stars.
Well, my prediction is Vox Eminol wins everything.
All right, there we go. I'll hold you to it. If you're wrong, you have to pay for all the drinks.
If I'm right, I'm going to be held as, a blind loyalist, as opposed to someone who knows what the hell he's talking about.
Well, these teams should be ready to go at this point, and they do already have 9 for sides. That will stand. They'll keep the CT side for FlipSid.
Yeah, no changes there. As you're saying, this map was always CT. I'm actually going to be. The bias comes to word, but that's not right. You're changing?
Well, no, I'm going to say, just to go back to the point about double ops, I'm going to be interested to see if they will actually go with Markelov and World Edit on this map. If they do that, this would be a team that has this much sniper potential. This would be a great indication of whether or not it'll work, or if it's not ideal with the new changes in this map. I still think it applies, hands down.
I'm going to remain a skeptic until they prove me otherwise. Because just looking as a basic map, like if you can make the most out of the vision, like that's where that boost spot over on the B side could come into play, where you can see long way down, and it'll be very difficult because it is like, yeah, you can run out through B holes onto the B plat, but you're in a real narrow choke point there, and there's nowhere really to hide. You've only got a small corner to jump into, but by the time you hit that, you're kind of at the point where you're right in front of the guy anyway. So it might be a lot more difficult to get yourself through the B holes, and they'll have to exploit Skyfall a hell of a lot.
Yeah, absolutely.
Where the A side, you've still got some depth to it. But even then, like, where do you find the perfect angle? Are you still going to sit on the eastern part of the A site and then try and snipe into long? And have that one guy a little bit closer on the A short through the doors, or now not doors.
I think you still play one back A. We're gonna get into it right now. And for those of you in chat, by the way, who were saying that Markelov's the other op, they've actually not been running, or pardon me, that Simple is the other op. They've not been running him on the double op setup, especially on Mirage. It has been Markelov they're going to for that. They're leaving Simple on that that rifle position. So But it very well could be. We talked about that potential. It's very, very possible that Markelov goes for that instead, and especially if Simple wants to play a more aggro-style defense. But we're all going to find out. This is a map, in my opinion, that doesn't support aggro-style defense. You've got to sit on your bomb sites. There's nowhere to really be aggressive. Maybe long A, but that's simply information hunting when they're playing for picks on the T side. Yeah,
it does make a lot of sense where you push up. So we're still in warm-up time. They did the knife, and the console command now comes through. So we will get to properly start this match and get ourselves underway for the CSGO Championship Series for the first match of the night. First map of the night.
First map of the night, right? And we'll see 2 at the least. I wouldn't be surprised at all to see 3, and this will be the indicator for me. These 2 teams are one on the way up, one on the way down, probably meeting somewhere in the middle about right now. And I know FlipSid are a very confident roster, and we'll see if they can find a way into it. They're not investing too much into the pistol round just yet. They've got armor out on S1, which is, of course, Simple, and that's about it. World Edit's going to pick up a decoy. They've got a few smokes, but T-side doesn't look like they've gone for much at all.
Nah. Just go raw, push in later. Maybe they're even expecting just to lose this round. And you've already got a long A push-up. You're talking about being not aggressive. He's now on the run from Chris J, who keeps checking out the corners. But S1, that's the reason why he was walking around with that armor. Defense in close, looks for the first hit, able to pick up 1. And there's still 1 more on that long A. But he's going to fall back. They've already got the first pick up to advantage them as Nico also looking for 1 coming in, but not down into Skyfall yet. He's still in Sky.
The good news is he's playing this lurk position just to hold off the rotators. Markelov, though, gets him with a nice USP shot. So they'll back into a 2-man advantage now, and they still haven't executed on A despite Nico trying to hold them off a little bit longer. They will smoke off the connector, though, try and isolate. That's Simple already down. And now it's another shot by Tabson into Blade, starting off very well for him on this pistol round. And Legija, not even taking out the vent, takes down Bondik, so it's all turned around. And this will be an easy kill as Gobby's already done the damage to Markelov.
It really felt like the CTs had this as, well, I think he turned his back a little bit too early, but no, they swing around. And that will be the first round going to Mousesports. It really did feel like they had this. And I love how Markelov's our first highlight clip of the night. Complete bias. But it was really cool. Like, they came in, they managed to get a retake so quickly from Mousesports that they took out the first round up against the CTs, and now they're rolling in the cash.
Yeah, and that was a good example of what you were saying about it's going to be harder to rotate back into sites. Nico might have been over there holding them off. That actually didn't have an effect. It was more that 1 smoke nade that covers off, and with the door, it's such a limited entrance now.
Look at the heavy defense on B.
It made it interesting, and yeah, you're right. They are heading toward B. They're doing it
They're here at exactly the right time. Mousesports have pushed up so early to the platform, but Skyfall, Bondik is holding the defense with just a pistol until they do finally bring him down. But it's going to be that breach, but S1 still defense. 1 shot's all it's going to take to bring down Gob. But FlipSid, they're already moving in. There's 2-on-2. You do have Mousesports on top of that B site, but no, they're going to be pushed back. And it's a 1-on-1 situation. 1 pistol going up against 1 AK. And it's going to be battled out in the platform. He reloads quickly, and we'll look through both perspectives to see who's going to take the shot.
And Nico's got no idea because it's a long flank. So Simple's going to get the most kills in the round, but Blade picks up the final one, also secures the AK. So an eco round already out. That resets everything for Mousesports right now, and that's a great boost to FlipSid, who can now build off this momentum.
You could see the panic right there. Like, he didn't know where it was going to come from because the last sound he would have heard was at the B halls. So it was like, is he going to come Skyfall? Is he going to come through Plat? And it's such a huge angle to try and cover that he was basically caught as he sandwiched himself, really.
And that second shot by Simple on the B site was absolutely brilliant. That took it down from a 2-on-2, 2-on-1. And then it was all up to Blade. And now look at this again. They'll nade. There's that pre-smoke I talked about that's going to be on that B entrance.
Actually, look how much noise they're making. This is a full distraction. So they've sent Nico as well as... okay, there's actually the pickup on the Boondick. And it's making them look towards B side. But FlipSid has rotated everyone they've got over to there. Now S1's only just coming back. And if Mousesports actually rushed in when he was over there, they would have an open A site right now. There's 3 players that are looking to come through the long A. And S1's the only defender at the moment.
They have taken down every single lurker at B, though, so they've got to realize at this point, Simple only manages to get 1. That's Chris J.
Here they come.
Gobby's in, so they will get at least a plant. This will give them some more money back in their economy, and they've got enough kills to make a buy in the next round, but there's still 3 up to contend with. And this one, Tabson, there it is, that Tech 9. Blade does respond.
Markelov, he's got 1 right in front, he gets him down. So Gob, he'll take a fall, and this will be a quick defuse in for FlipSid. So they're able to pick up 2 rounds in a row after not the greatest first round, but they do defend.
The key thing, though, that bomb did go down for Mousesports. So that's a small victory to them. As I mentioned, it does give them economy to work with.
Are you still willing to eco the next round, though? Or you are looking for a semi-buy?
They are going to eke it out. Yeah, no, I figured they might get a few more kills toward the end and try and force potentially into Galils and try and catch out. But with full rifles on the other side, it's worth saving. And they wouldn't have been able to do it with head armor, which against the CT side does make a bigger difference because, of course, the M4 is not a single bullet kill.
Just get the cheap Tech 9. You can always win and fight with the Tech 9.
It's a small SMG.
Basically. Well, already an opening kill coming out from S1, so the terrorists are down to 4. Looks like that Tech 9 didn't help him out for that one.
And it's actually simple they've gone to right away for the AWP. He did have the closest out spawn, but we'll see if they stick with him. Bondik's going to find Legizia through the smoke, and there's World Edit coming in with another kill of his own from the backside of B. Finally, they get one response kill.
Oh, nice.
Simple.
Oh, he doesn't look at the guy on the left. He comes in from the side. Gob, it's going to be an ult for him if he's at least going to pick it up. And then a short range, he's out to pick up as well, Bondik. So another 2 CTs to deal with. He switches over towards the M4, finding another one just up in a little bit of a, well, I don't even know what that place is called. A raised elevated platform, as it will still be the defense coming in. Well, then it will finish the job, and it'll be a 3-1.
Vent room would suffice. So, yeah, take a look at the replay as Gob came around.
I was almost going to call it preacher's stand.
It essentially could be, but you'd have to preach a pretty strong sermon because typically you're playing that after you've given up the site. So,
well, it's faith, man. You got to hold on to faith at the end of it.
I suppose faith would do, but now we're going to see guns, and it's going to be 5 AKs for the terrorist side. So yet to get Chris J into an AWP. It's
amazing how much Mousesports are giving confidence to that bomb. Like they're coming in through long, and they got one down already. So maybe the confidence to just keep pushing through a lot quicker, and they are. They're actually moving up through long A, and the bomb has come from Mousesports almost every single round on that long A side. They've thrown it back and like left it behind themselves, not quite sure if the rotate's going to be successful. They finally go back and pick up that AWP. They're actually doubling back, so they smoked up, and now Nico's actually moving up on Markelov. Markelov's in a little bit of an elevated position as well, and he can see Miko over the side of the smoke. So it brings him down as he tries to push up through Plat, but not going to be successful for it. But it's not going to deter Mousesports. They are still looking to come onto this B site. But there's only 2 defenders here for FlipSid.
And of all people that could pick up a drop top, Chris J does get simples. So now he's got his gun of choice.
He's just checking that crevice. Unfortunately, his teammate's blocking it with his ass. But Markelov, he's in so close. Potentially with his FAMAS. He could pick up a couple. I don't know if he can bring down all of them. But he's just so close. There goes your first flash. He tries just the blind hits. Unable to get a pick off here, and actually not tagging them at all until he threw that nade afterwards, and Markelov does get the kill in the end. Down through Skyfall, and he is able to pick up Gob as well. So Markelov defending strongly over on this B site.
Chris has to make the decision, and yeah, he's already made it. There's no point entering. They've already all rotated. He's picked up an AWP.
With 15 seconds, he can't rotate to A.
No, he's out. He's going to save this gun, and this will give him a chance to at least use it into the next round, but they're completely broke. They won't be able to do anything else with it, so they'll have to try and rely on a pick from him. And naturally, he'll play passively in the event that they can't get anything in with the pistols. If they get into a site, he'll happily join in. If they don't, he's going to want to hold on to that AWP again in the following round. So see how he chooses to start the round off with it. He does have an outward spawn. He could actually rush up toward A side quite quickly, but there's not a lot of picks that are open in A. You have to kind of push up into that lower mid, and then you have to watch from danger. And
the defense from FlipSid has always been up at the top of danger, so even getting the AWP into there is going to be really difficult unless you've got a human shield to go before you.
And Chris is actually at the back of the queue right now, so they are going to try and run it in with these smokes and let the Tech 9 start their way. They do avoid that flash. Tabson's through. They'll put out a secondary smoke on the CT side, though, so there won't be any entrance there, and they'll hold station for just a minute.
Chris J is going to try and keep that AWP down in the mid by trying to go through that A main, where they did remove the doors, so it's a little bit easier to get a pick off through that way now. But the rest of Mousesports are held up, as it seems an Inferno was started over on the long A. And FlipSid's moved a lot of people over there too. Like they've got two guys sitting on A, very deep on A as well, while another one in Skyfall. They are pushing the second one back to B, expecting a rotation. But with that shot, yeah, look at them come back straight up through that connector. They need to get onto the site as quick as possible. Use the truck as defense. As FlipSid, S1 picks up one, but they're burning down here as Mousesports. They have managed to push through. The fire was giving them the cover to get onto the site, which they'll get the plant onto now.
Markelov's already got one more. Look at Nico, not done with the P250.
Summon received.
They'll take him down, but they'll easily get the defuse as well. They do have kits, but I was going to say, are they going to go for both ops? They do. Markelov's going to pick up that second one, so they'll use those both to good effect in the next round. FlipSid is showing off some good tactics. They've held on, but again, a bomb plant down. That'll make money a little bit more favorable, and I mean, Nico's up to 7,000. The money bonus is in full effect. They'll be able to buy for at least 2 rounds, and if they manage their money accordingly, it'll be more than that. We do have a disconnect, though. Simple's the man to drop out, and we'll wait patiently. So right now it's, well, that op's in the hands of Blade, but they'll pass that over to naturally Markelov if Simple doesn't get back in here soon.
Yeah. I actually want to see their positioning. I really want to see their positioning for this. Because with the double AWP, we discussed it before, obviously it's just going to be 1A, 1B. Like, that's nothing unusual. But it's how successful it's going to be when they push in. Like, where are these AWPs exactly going to be? Like, Markelov's been defending nicely, but he's been defending from the lower part of that wall on plat.
Right, and A's a little bit more open. You've got a lot more room. Michael Daly used to play it in the back of the site on top of the little hut that's inside the bomb site.
Is that still possible, though, with the new truck being added in?
The new truck, no, you're beyond that to the left. The only thing that changes it is you can't see right to the door entrance because of that little half wall.
Yep.
They have to be sort of up halfway up the ramp before you start to see them. The B side's going to be the more interesting side, and it comes down to spawn for me. If you have a quick spawn and can rush there, you're going to play at the entrance. If you don't have a quick spawn, you're going to take your gamble on what you think your timing is. You're either going to play it from a passive position inside the site that's actually more back toward the entrance and get them as they drop in from the platform, or you're going to head out wide and get to that hut and hit them from a wide angle as they come in from the entrance. So the T's should cover all that off when they enter, and of course that smoke that's bounced off the wall should help limit the ease of entrance, I guess you could say, for the terrorist side. But it all depends. It's all spawn related. World Edit right now, as Simple has reconnected and actually is going to be grabbing that other op. World Edit right now is in a pretty good spot where he could actually contend to get to that B entrance quite quickly.
All right. Are we actually okay to start up? They've given the ult back to him now, at least. But we're still remaining inside of our pause. And yes, it is Simple. I'll stop it for everyone out there for calling him S1.
It's okay. It's not S4. At least you haven't gone with S4 yet.
I was actually thinking
the
$1
million puck, the $1 million ulti. Back in TI2? Look at me, Dota knowledge.
The bomb has been dropped, man.
I'm coming. You're coming for my job. I'm going to go get yours now. We're going to swap. I'm going to go to Dota.
Okay. I'll come full-time Counter-Strike.
Done.
Cool. They'll be petitioned on Reddit very shortly.
That's fine.
We're going to have no joy. There is going to be no joy in the CSGO community anymore with me in here. Either that or we all just become slightly more perverted.
I mean, both are a win-win situation.
Well, then again, there's less cosplay. This was a big thing which people brought up, and they couldn't understand why I was casting CSGO when the cosplay is so much more diverse in Dota 2. And I'm using the word diverse.
I would think that's a very humbled word for it. But I don't know why. Yeah, we're still not unpaused. Actually, Tabson just typed in the unpause, so we will get out of this and get back into it. Simple's going to have that second AWP, and Markelov's going to hold on to the rifle. So, chat, you've improved upon me. I was told straight up that they were going to be running with Markelov on the op, but that was on Mirage, so I jumped to conclusions that they double op with him more commonly. But it's Simple, so you win, chat.
Yeah, that it is. So, well, that is actually all the way back at hut with that AWP. But Chris J, he's looking for the pick on Markelov. Markelov has been so predictable on that point that he kind of knows. But Markelov's actually sitting in a lot closer. He's not looking to go anywhere near that end. In fact, they're pushing up more players into Skyfall to defend up against Nico, who's making a lot of noise there. As Chris J's going to feel a little bit more confident to push out now. We are approaching the 1 minute mark on the round. So this is when positions change again. And look at him. He's just come back. This is World Edit with the AWP, looking towards the opening. He smokes up and gets the first shot on Chris J. Looks for the second one, can't get it though. Brought down by the AK of Nico, and Markelov is now forced to hold the line.
And hold it, he'll do, but it's, again, like you say, only Nico there because the bomb's working back over to A, and Nico's still wreaking havoc because Markelov has dropped. And that's going to make it even easier for his teammates who are over at the A site. And they're coming around from long. They've been spotted now. Will they get the kill? They whiff on a few shots, but Legisha does eventually take down Blade, and this will be another bomb plant. He's actually going to drop that bomb off because he's got no health and doesn't want to be taken down from what you referred to rather cleverly as the bleacher stand. But Nico still there, still on that rotation. Bondik's now down, and Simple's going to want to hold on to this AWP, but he's pinched from both sides. Ooh. He will get a nice up close on Tabson. Oh. At least he gives us something pretty to look at, but it's going to be a very ugly situation for them if he drops this gun.
Right, he's going to drop it anyway. That one little shot to the testicles, like that's the point where the coroner's trying to decide if you were a man or a woman at the start of the round. And now it's 5-2, and at least Mousesports, they're able to pull one back. They're going to hold on to that AWP on Chris J. buy up a whole bunch of AKs, and there is not a lot in the kitty here for FlipSid. If you actually see it there, it's almost 27.5k being spent over on Mousesports and a measly 3,000 for FlipSid worth of weapons.
I'm getting told it's Legia. I always thought it was Legija. It's Legion in Serbian. I know that, but I thought
Legia.
It's Legia. All right. Chat, you win again. I'll go with it.
We believe in Twitch chat.
This
can go wrong.
Better than believing in Zubu chat.
Chris J, luckily not playing with cheats, so we won't see that guy through the smoke as we could. Still a very aggressive move. That's the first time we've seen an aggressive move from Markelov. He's jumped over that wall.
Great hold on Skyfall, though, from World Edit P250. And they only lost one round, but because of how close they were, we can already see they're back onto those pistols. So Mousesports really just bought themselves a lifeline because their money bonus was reset on the back of that. But fortunately, it was only an eco to contend with. There will be flashes out. Gob still trying to find his way in. That's World Edit caught behind the back of the truck and well spammed through as Simple drops immediately. And I'll come back to that point in a minute because they are going to get this bomb down. And here comes Bondic, or rather,
he's running
away. Yep.
He's right. You can have your point now. You can have your point.
Well, my point is that smoke on that entranceway is so much easier to spam now. That door, much like the one at lower middle, I think that one needs to go because in order to peek out to long A, you've got to actually pass the door, enter into the site, and then as soon as the T's have it, I understand that we're trying to balance out the map T-sided, but it's actually hugely advantaged because it's obvious. He has to come through the left side.
Yep.
So Gob just spammed the left side preemptively there, and boom, got a kill for it. So I think that door either needs to be opened a little bit more or removed entirely. So time will tell. Bondic's going to lose that rifle as Chris J does get the shot. That's 3 now for Mousesports, and only 8 rounds in. We're on to the ninth one. That's a pretty good start. Yeah,
5-3 at the start. As you were saying, man, and this is what I was actually fearing of this map, that it wouldn't just be the fully CT side of thing, just because of that rotation. And you're pointing it out with one of those doors. I still think it's going to be really, really difficult to try and get yourself back over once the B site's been taken. Which is why they commit once the A site's been taken, which is why Mousesports is still been committing almost 3 players every single time. This time around, they're pushing aggressively up through Plat. You got Chris J at the front, and very, very close is Markelov. He's just down the left, while the AWP, oh, that's very quick. Well, it's on the sidelines. And who else they got? Markelov, able to pick off one, looking for the second. Just that small little line of sight until then Legia does jump himself through. And then Chris J, he's just moving down. Keep the head down. Head in the sand. Ostrich style won't save him though from Blade.
Now Blade's got the kill, got the one up on him, but now it's still a man advantage for Mousesports. They're still trying to come in. Blade's not done. He's already got a second one. That's Legia. He does tank that nade right down to 41 HP, but help has arrived in the form of Simple, and he's going to try and use this smoke to his own advantage. Blade's completely aware of where Tapson is, shot right by the front of Simple. Looked like he was going to do some team damage, got the kill. And now they can both focus on just Gobby.
Simple was a gymnast in his previous life. Split the leg so the shot could come through. And now Gob, he shows through one side. Remember, it's still a bit of a sandwich here. And both the CTs are in the same similar angle. So Gob knows where both of them are. Picks up one. There goes Blade down. But does Simple have enough? It is an AWP going up against an AK. And he's waiting out the time. It's 23 seconds on the clock. And where is your attack? They just spam it out. And eventually it will be Simple coming up on top. He realized the AWP wasn't going to help him. So pistol is the way to victory.
And he would have had a call that he was tagged up. He only had 9 HP, so the shadow of a bullet would have been enough to do it, and with the USP, it was absolutely the right call. So that'll give them 6. It'll set things back as they wanted it previously. They'll still not have a lot to buy because they're still losing a lot of members.
It's the one AK purchase.
Yeah, I mean, it's still a better buy right now for the terrorist side because they're going to have to force out. They've got 1 Meg 7 out. That's in the hands of World Edit. They've got a FAMAS for Markelov and 2 M4s, S1. Simple, not able to do much at all. He's only got $400 left, and although he has grabbed just chest armor and some nades, there's no rifle for him.
Don't fear, it's just the toilet. Pontic is giving him directions to it.
Actually, and I just hovered around. I called there's no gun. There's actually an AWP drop down, so Simple will pick that up at a spawn.
Okay.
And it's actually dropped for A side, so that's interesting because who do we have? World Edit, Bondic. So it looks like World Edit and Bondic are actually already favoring off toward the B side.
If you ever feel like the map's gone to shit, that's the place to go to.
The toilet.
Yeah. I don't know how much toilet humor I can get through in this broadcast.
I'm going to count. That's like 3, so you're off to a
Are we up to 3?
Start. I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt and say maybe even 4.
Cast a challenge. There we go. Pause is over, and the T-side will fully buy. So 4 AKs, 1 AWP. They're good to go. And that's what you're talking about before, too. So the AWP for Simple.
Simple. There you go. I was going to let you figure it out.
I almost want to call him Psy now because the one stands for an I. And look how aggressively they're moving up. Mousesports, they're committing all 5 this time to A. Maybe they're realizing the flip side has only been having just one floater over on that B long, and they're going to bring him down. They've got to move quick. Move quick, get the smokes up, cover that cross area, because the rest of FlipSid, they're rotating over. And here comes that smoke. Flashbang as well, so Bombik can't get the opening, but Blade's already in there. So he's deep on the site, but it's not going to stop the Mousesports push. They're in really, really close. Nico able to get 2 through that door connector. But they're battling up against one behind the truck, and the CTs are nicely split for the moment.
Watch World Edit, though, in our second picture. He's right behind them, and there's the Mag 7 up close. Easy kill for him. He gets 2 in the end. But Nico do turn back, and eventually he drops. Clever tactics, but won't pay off. Mouse is going to go ahead and pick up their 4th round, and again, they'll buy, and here's where we're talking about momentum. Here's where we're talking about economy and how Counter-Strike works. Money bonus reset, back to pistols, nothing going the way of FlipSid right now. This was Mousesports' choice of map. FlipSid like it. It's actually one of their 2 preferred maps, but right now they're not living up to it.
They don't seem prepared for what Mousesports is throwing at them.
Keep in mind, too, they're not a great CT
close
team.
danger. Okay, we're good. I thought with that Tech 9, if he dropped that after buying it, it would have just been sad. Up through Skyfall. Even Nico's waiting for him. 2 CTs lost, 1 more low. He knew he had to be boosted up for that one. And there's just an easy wrap-up with those three players going down. That's a very quick round.
Yeah, very quick indeed, and no surprise. So only losing 1. And again, that helps them because they don't have to invest too much at all to recover from that. Legia does go down to $200 as a result, but all of his other teammates could easily drop him in the next coming round. And like I said, unfortunately for FlipSid, they won't even have a money bonus to work with. They split that. Out of the last 4 rounds, they won the 3rd one. Last 5 rounds, they won the 3rd one, excuse me. So they do have guns this time. They're forcing out from Osses. They've got to get a hold of this as quickly as possible. Blade's going to go and actually double up on Skyfall, but
he's backing up.
He's backing up.
He heard noise coming through long again. It almost feels like Mousesports with these really heavy pushes over towards A. They're almost trying to bait FlipSid to hold more people over on the A side, so when they push B, they're going to be a hell of a lot more successful.
And they're going to smoke it off, too, so there won't be anyone else to readdress it.
Yeah, but everyone's on B. Everyone's on A coming through long, and there's actually 2 coming in through the main A ramp.
And there's no smokes left. They've already used all the smokes on CT. The last one just dissolved at the entrance from long A, so they're going to have to rely on flashes to delay it any further. And it's just a matter of timing right now. If they can find 1 pick from House, they'll run in immediately.
Oh, they're going to flame up behind the truck. It's going to force him to expose himself as quickly in through the door. It was just 1 quick peek, tagging up the T's as they move in. Even the Nate's trying to block and big flash. That was a big flash. That's the last shoot. The CT still hold the line. And in comes Bondik again from behind. So Mousesports their sandwich. Chris J with the AWP. He's got nowhere to go apart from down. Blade will bring him down, and that's also going to give a second AWP if they want it over. In fact, he did just the first AWP. He picked it up.
Quite, yeah, and they won't reinvest in it. They'll stick with just the 1.
Yep.
So Simple's actually the primary on this map, and that just, again, speaks to the diversity that this team has. Because on Mirage, he's not even one of the ones they've been running in that double setup.
Look at him again. So heavy for Mousesports coming in towards that B side. Before to that A side.
That's over there, so this is really interesting. They're favoring this B so heavily early on. And if Mousesports become more aware of that initial default run, then they'll easily exploit it. That's easily exploitable as Simple's fallen back in underneath the archways. Now he'll go all the way back onto the site. World Edit and Blade are over to help him finally, and luckily just in the nick of time. But there's that half wall I'm talking about. You can't quite see. He does get on top of the hut. He will get the shot. Gob's down. He's still looking for more, though, because they're continuing forward, just missing that second one, as he at least takes down Blade with his pistol, and World Edit goes back into him, so an even trade. But Simple's still looking for this angle, and he can't find it. That truck just covers off so much more on the right side.
Yeah, and that's why he needs more friends to come over. He knows there's someone on the other side of that wall trying to find him, and he's able to do. So Chris J will go down. We are, of course, don't adjust your television sets. Everything is okay. We just switched to our second observer, hence there's no in-game audio right now. But FlipSid, hold the defense successfully. Mousesports, that was when it kind of got gunked up with them breaching into that A side. That's what we kind of expected from the older version of Cobblestone, where the CTs are capable of holding from multiple sides, and you just can't breach this open ground to reach the bomb sites.
Yeah, and again, they're running off to this 4, doubling up on Skyfall, because that is your quickest point of access, so they want to contend that as early as possible. Blade's actually been rotating to it and coming back to the site, and he's back just in time again, so great rotation position play from him. He's going to catch out Tabson on the way in from that lower mid.
They got to keep that defense tight with that one-man advantage, and Mousesports only with Tech 9s. Like, breaching up, they've got to get in close and just try and win that battle. As now in through vents. Is he actually he looks a little bit further to the left, but it's Bondic who's going to try and defend. But the CTs, they're holding the line. Chris J, at least Gobb's able to pick up one, but eventually he'll be brought down next to the truck. 9-5 on the board as we will go into our last round of the first half. And the CTs, they've managed to make some level of comeback, but obviously, even with the 10-5 result, it's probably not what FlipSid was searching for coming into this map.
Well, and Mouse picked it. They knew they were going to pick up T. And again, this is sort of what I was saying. If you want to look at the one major competition we've seen on, or at least one key map that's been played at X Games, it was 10-5 for NIP after the first half on CT. They didn't get a single T round. I don't think that's going to be the case with two teams that know it. And this is sort of actually, to me, a better indication of how this map is and will play and should play. As that smoke out at the top of Skyfall, Bondic's going to play right below it, so forcing the fact that he's pretty much got to commit to it to come out and play him. He can't just play it cheeky-peeky, but look at this entrance. That one smoke holds it off. I've mentioned how potent that's going to be, and World Edit sees through the right side of it. He's already got one, but they'll pour right through, and Nico up close with that Tech 9 makes quick work of him. He's looking for more. Markelov's not going to allow it. They'll smoke off the backside of that as well, and now it's just limiting them to fall into the backside of the site. Process of elimination, easy peaks. And we can see that rotation's coming around as well. Yeah,
he needs to get over there as quick with that AWP as possible, but at the same time, Bondic, he's right on top of the site, coming in for the defense. There's one player that wants to try and hold there. Chris J is the last one left alive. He does get in there, up through the platform. As simple. Again, we find ourselves in this position, but he's able to nail Chris J in the leg. And that'll mean successful defuse, and it will wrap up the first half at 10-5.
So now let's see, FlipSid not, and by their own admission, not typically a CT-sided team. On a CT-sided map, though, so 10 rounds wasn't too hard for them to do. The question is that enough? And can they come up with their own strategies? We saw a lot more
They did pick it for a reason, like Mousesports. Like, if you're going to pick this map, it's obviously got to be because you've got some aggressive strategy that's going to work for you. It's not like, I think we're going to be better on CT now with the map. It's going to be, we've got some openings for right. T-side. We see where they can come from.
Totally. And the interesting thing now for me is we saw a lot more A presence. I thought with the changes at B that we were going to see a lot more people rush toward B. It actually is more congested on the way through. Skyfall, a little bit different. You can't actually peek into the site through the former entrance anymore.
Yep.
So what happened is they actually went to A. I thought by getting them deeper into that site and forcing that defender to be further back.
It did feel like that, didn't it?
I thought it might be more T-sided. Yep. The one thing is the way they played it, by rotating the 4 players in through that connector, 2 in the back of B, 2 sort of watching Skyfall and Blade quickly getting back to A.
Yeah.
It actually left more holes at A, and I think Mousesports became aware of that because they, in the start of it, especially the first round that they got,
they only had one person there.
The second round, right? They went there on the pistol round. They went to A. On the second anti-eco, when they actually lost, they went to B, and immediately they were discouraged from it. So once they realized that Simple was the only one staying at home in A, they kind of changed it up and threw that out. Their original plan out the window and adapted to the play. So
it's almost like they felt like, because even saw it, like he was in long A. He wasn't even watching that A ramp area down towards the mid. There was nobody there at all. They just thought, it's the same thing. We just rotate our supports over. We rotate our mid players over.
Our supports.
I know.
I like it. No, that's technically in a way your rotational player is your support.
I should say floaters.
They just can't place wards to watch for them. They have to be more aware than that.
That was your fourth crap joke.
All right.
Yeah. All right. They're the floaters.
All right.
Yeah. And if you can't kill them, they're the unflushables.
Oh, unflushables. We've got a player called Flusha, so he's a bit unflushable at times. Although many people have tried to flush him in the recent past. That's right. I'm talking to you, Witch Hunt people. You're dreadful. I'd flush you.
I'm not talking to you. You're, like, if you can Witch Hunt whoever the hell you want. I'm just going to sit in the back lines.
All right, that's fair. No, but that was Blade's job to be the first one back. And he was actually... It was similar to how you see Get Right play long A on Dust. He'll run out if there's not an immediate presence at long A, which I assume he's going to be playing with Alu. He has in the maps that they've played with him so far, but they've been changing things up since they brought Alu in. He immediately, before any calls have been made, immediately runs back toward middle to give that support at the B site. And Blade was doing that here. He'd run to Skyfall. If there was a guy there, great. He was there to help out. If no one showed up within 5 seconds even of him being there, back to A. And that's where you saw him get a lot of those kills from that mid-connector door.
Yeah, but it's only if you got there first. Like, if you're just a second too late, then you're smoked up, you're getting flash up. There was, of course, one point when he was flash and he still was able to find the kill. But at the same time, like, you need to move back. Like, it's almost like the call's got to come prematurely before it's like, is there anyone here? And that might have also been the reason too why the D pushed up so hard onto platform, so you could either see or hear, get some intel of if they're coming over towards the B side quick.
Well, of course, that for sure, information's everything and how you control the map. But the other thing is that Simple had to be very efficient inside the back of A, because if he drops, all they do is smoke off Blade. They rush the back of the site. They have a plant already.
Yeah.
By Simple staying alive, he's holding them out of the site. Even if he can't get the kills, Blade's there, and then your next player that was there was, I think it was World Edit, who was playing at the bottom of Skyfall. He's going to be there immediately after. And it's efficiency is everything when you're playing a setup that relies on quick rotations like that. And Simple was equal to the task. Just a quick halftime scoreboard. Obviously, you guys can't see it right now. Blade finished with 13, where we talked about him. Simple on 14, as was World Edit. And then on the Mousesports side, Nico, who, although this isn't his first match, it's his first match as an official starting 5 member, has 14 kills, and he leads the way by 4. But we're ready to go for halftime number 2.
Yeah, let's get back into it, and we'll see how Mousesports is capable of doing on the CT side as FlipSid. Let's see how everything goes down. Is it going to actually be the same level of defense? As we're seeing him already, notice Chris J sitting right on top of the A site, and has put Tabson over towards the long A. But FlipSide's doing something different here. They've actually brought the bomb over to the B horse, and they've just left it there. Markelov's left it behind and let Simple and Markelov push up together. So it looks like they still want to prioritize B, even though they've got a lot of people making a crap ton of noise over on the A side. And they've actually managed to force Goob to come back. Oh, Gob. There's no double O's. Gob to come back over towards the A side. So there's 3 over there on the A side, and that's the reason why the bomb's over on B. They're moving everybody back silently now through the connector. They're into the holes, and they're going to breach B quickly. How quickly will Mousesports, though, figure out that they've just been douched?
Nico's there. He's back by the hut. They won't see him until he's in. Luckily, Lagia's up underneath, as we can see. Gob's there to help him out. They're going to drop. They had that crossfire set, but they haven't found anything. Finally, Lagia will, but they have to come around that smaller door. And another huge headshot onto Bondic from him. World Edit's going to come out and try and avenge his teammates. Does spot up Lagia, but can't get the shot. Finally, he does, and now it's back to a 3-on-3, but like you said, a rotation already there, and contesting from the doorway. Tabson makes quick work of World Edit. Bomb does go down in the meantime, so regardless of whether or not they pick up this pistol round, if they don't invest in the next one, we'll have a 3rd round bye, and it looks like that's going to be the case because Simple's all that's left, but Tabson, what a shot onto him. The dream's dead. Chris J's going to find him. That's going to give us, actually, another pistol round.
There's even a prop to the shots on that one.
Well, the interesting thing is this will be the 2nd pistol for Mousesports, so typically speaking, when you win 2 pistols in any individual match, you should win it, but they got ecoed after the first one. Have to do better this time.
All right, here's that quick, just hold, and then World Edit comes over. But we have started our round again. The fact they caught the CT behind, he had to look like double ways with pistol up, not the greatest thing in the world. But we do have an early scout coming up from Chris J, so he's going to try and defend from very deep in that A side, as you were saying before. Try and use the distance in A. He actually still has a really good vision when you're on top of that hut. So he still sees in deep, but this is a heavy commitment again by FlipSid. They're coming heavily into B through Skyfall. And in fact, they're all dropping down. And with that P90, he's able to pick up 2. And then just instantly into the reload. But he gets caught out at the same time. So we currently got ourselves a 4v2. But FlipSid at least pick up 1. They at least took out the P90 on this push. Not saying that was absolutely brilliant, but it's still something.
Well, they this time successfully avoid getting ecoed. So now they'll get a chance to build off that, but they're going to go up against actually Simple's already gone for an AWP. He's glass canning it. No armor to speak of. I thought they'd play it safe, go straight for 5 AKs, but they're going heavy into this one. Chris J is only going to have the scout, so this is actually an advantage buy for the T's.
We've got the Simple is so far back outside the A side, almost waiting for that person to push up through long, while there's 4 people for the rest of FlipSid looking to come through platform. Nope, again, they're going to commit towards Skyfall.
I love this boost, by the way, that Tabson just did that we saw on that wall. That's brilliant today, because essentially that whole L wall was put in so you couldn't cover both positions. Well, they just found a way to do it very quickly. As Chris J is peeking out toward long, but
there's no way to get through there.
B.
There's no way to get through there right now. I don't care.
See the mouse go through the hole. I love that camera angle.
They've managed to take Skyfall. They're coming out on platform. A very aggressive defender. That's Nico, who's up on the left. He's hoping they don't check his corner right now as the smokes and flashes they come in. Nico already checking the first one, and Nico, no success on that plat. Legion took so much damage to this. With only 5 life points, the flashes actually still give him an opening. And he's going to try and pick up the second, but cannot outshoot Bondic here. There's Chris J. Well, how much damage can you do with that scout? Absolutely none. He'll be brought down, and it will be a successful round for the terrorists pushing in towards the B site. One of the very few successful rounds we've seen from the Ts coming into B.
Yeah, absolutely. And Chris J, I love it. He tried to go for that jumping scout. Volvo, please nerf. But no, the fact that they got the bomb down in the first round, was able to get that out. They actually, because there wasn't an upgraded purchase on the CT side, they actually had the equipment advantage.
Mm-hmm.
They had to win that. You go right back. Then not only do you give up your 3 standard rounds, you give up 4 potentially on another eco. So this gives them good hope. 11 done. Only need 5 more.
He's lining up that smoke for. Is that supposed to get out through the window as well?
I was actually had the minimap brought up on my screen, so I didn't exactly see where he was lining that up.
Yeah, it's actually smack bang on the outside. It's on the wall, not on the window. It's on the door, sorry, not the window. But it's allowing FlipSid to get themselves into, again, Skyfall. So they have options, because again, we're seeing this point where you can cut off the connector just by coming out through the window, even though they're not obviously breaching through that point, because that's crazy. They're at least able to have some level of vision and intel for what's coming through that mid. But Mousesports is still, like, they have to just hold tight. They have the one-man advantage, even though they're on eco. Just keep the corners tight. As Chris J still waiting for that one little flanker to come up. At the same time, the breach has already started over. The defense is there quite solidly. And the last player is now Simple with the AWP. And he's over in danger, trying to stay out of it. He's being hunted. Chris J. We're now playing Assassin's Creed. Find your nearest hay bale, hide inside of it, and wait till he walks past you. Oh.
He was already spotted. Chris J actually does get the kill, but Simple was already spotted from the entrance into A, so
yeah,
no gun save, no anything for him that time.
And now Mousesports are all walking around with AKs and a rifle. Everything has been stolen from the cold dead fingers.
Yeah, perfectly played.
That's going to keep this map a hell of a lot closer now, because FlipSid's only on pistol, so if Mousesports can still secure this round, like, we're bringing this to 11-9.
And that's where we come back to the fact of, you know, how's this new map going to play? 10-5 is what we saw in the first. We've already seen some T rounds this time. But it's still a CT-sided map. Tabson on that boost, and now they know he's going to play it. They're going to peek that from now on. There's no way they'll overlook that. Markelov, though, a little bit of team damage, not a lot.
Yeah, it's only 9 points. I actually thought it was going to be more because he shot a little bit further up towards the head. At least Blade's able to push all the way up through the mid towards the broken wall. And gets the pick over on Tabson, which is opening up this east side a hell of a lot more, even when they're picking up the older weapons. But the movement's coming in through that mid-door connector. And, well, how successful are they? Very successful. Markelov was the last one left alive. And it was an impossible situation for him. That's 11-9, keeping the scores very tight.
Yeah, tight indeed. 2 rounds, lots of money.
Poor Simple. He's the only one who basically owns nothing.
Well,
right, now he's going to spend his cash.
That's the interesting thing, is that they'll have to re-upgrade or reinvest if they even try and win this round. If they go down, great. They can drop guns over. If not, they're going to stick on these Galils because they have to build a cushion right now on the T side. Setch is the way. Markelov's already up above Skyfall.
Look how many they've connected towards the long A. Both Chris J as well as Tabson are over here on long A. They really do not want to see any breaches coming through here. Simple, already Chris J. Just with that little bit of a peek with the AWP. He won't get the second, however, but that's when your second player comes in, and I don't think Simple was expecting him to be there.
No, and Chris is very aggressive with the AWP. One of his favorite spots in the entire game is the same type of play in the apartments in Mirage. So not surprised to see him try that. Also gets you early information. They evened it up. And the trade went back the other way. Tabson's still over there, though. He's going to try and come back out. Catch Blade, who does have the bomb. He's setting himself up for a smoke off toward that connector.
Well, at least they'll allow World Edit to push up through the mid with that. They also get the flash over on Tabson, so he's blind on the top. And Markelov, he actually secured the B bomb site in the meantime. He's there by his little lonesome. And there is one CT now coming back over to him. But he's like, well, okay, boys, I don't know where the rest of them are, so I'm assuming they're all on A.
And the decision has to be made now, because 29 seconds, that's a long rotation to go all the way back
They have to go A.
tunnels.
There's no time. There's no more time. But Tabson is right on top of, yeah, they're moving him.
The good news I was going to say is just Legia's cut off, so even if he goes to the rotations, Markelov's already there. He's already spotted him. Yeah, down and out he goes. So they've secured A, but the bomb's not down. It's actually Gobby that stops it, but the kill will secure the round. There was still 10 seconds anyway, but Yeah, Markelov, like you said, secured B. He was very smart then to not just sit around and try and make noise. He actually said, okay, you guys are committing. I've got to find this rotator. I've got to lurk and find this one player, and he was successful in doing it because had the bomb dropped there and had Gobby had help in the form of, you know, the other player that was rotating in through middle, my apologies, it would have been very easy for them to hold that off on the pickup.
The man we can't say right. The man we can't say right. So with this now, everyone's at least got themselves some buys, and this time FlipSid are committing themselves more heavily towards the A side. So we're not pushing in towards the B side as heavily as before. There's 3 coming up on the A. On the one round where Mousesports don't put anyone into that A side. They've got Chris J a little bit further up with the AWP on the front of the truck. And they got also, yeah, Tabson. He's checking in towards the mid. The flash will go, but at least able to get back behind the door. Taking very little damage there, in fact, well did it. But he's looking for the pick through mid, and there it goes. So Tabson's down. They know the AWP is committed over towards the A side, and there's another player now pulling himself off B to come to A. And that's Gobby and Chris J. But they're getting massively smoked up, and Legion can't see anything. Legion cannot see anything at all, but that doesn't matter because Chris J as well as Gob are doing the work. Oh,
Chris looked away at exactly the wrong moment there. He was looking out toward long, but at least he did get one just before onto Simple. That drops him, and now it's back to 3-on-3. Gob's still alive in the back of the site. That's Blade down. Great play, but World Edit's picked up the AWP that was dropped. He's got the shot into Chris J, so he wins that one, and Markelov's going to spam away. Nico, though, look at all the AWP play. Every single player is going to use it before the end of this round. He'll get pre-flash, tries to peek through with that 5-7, can't find the shot, and Markelov has made his way over toward the site, but that bomb still dropped just on the stairs. He's forced to get out and try and grab it, and Nico's going to go ahead and get the kill. So FlipSid,
with the pistol shots coming at him, he tried to hug the corner tighter so he can reach that rooftop in time, but he couldn't get there in time. And then also the bomb, too far out to the right.
The interesting thing was he actually pushed into the bomb site and passed the bomb on the way there. If he picked it up on the way there, he was in and had that planted, and FlipSid might have got the round instead.
But that's what I'm saying. He was slightly panicked. He was slightly panicked because he thought he had to get to cover. He couldn't move out and pick up the bomb or else he was down. Because I don't think he thought his slash worked because the bullet still flew his way. It could have been blind shots, but.
Yeah, and Nico actually didn't even use the AWP to secure that because he was pushing in, and the pistols are starting off well, at least for FlipSid. They've come around from long, and they've only got Tabson to contend with. You're right, but they don't peek it, and he finds them that time, and now he'll drop down because he knows there's 2 more that he spotted up, and now Mouse will go to work. It's all falling apart for FlipSid's early efforts as World Edit now drops. Bondic at least gets 1 more, but that's not even going to secure him a rifle because he can't push forward to grab it and save it.
He just couldn't. There was just no openings for FlipSid. They try to move aggressively. Now they should be at least pick up the M4, but he's moving up very aggressively, in fact. There's only 2 more players to go up against. Legia through that mid. It's actually Nico who's there with 100 life points, now down to 83. He can at least get the plant. We've got at least a flash coming over, but the plant's going to go down. That's a semi-victory here, but if he can get those last 2 pickoffs, looking over towards Preacher, up towards the high side, and then back down low. He knows both of them are there. Switches over towards the pistol. He didn't have any more bullets left, and Nico will be able to defuse the situation quite literally.
But another bomb plant, so money's still flowing for them. Unfortunately, reset money bonus in the previous round, so they won't. It's going to be close. They will be able to. Actually, they should be able to comfortably buy AKs, but they won't be able to go full nades on World Edit and Blade. The question is, will they want to? Simple's going to go back to the AWP, and they'll go double flash for World Edit and a smoke. They can't grab a frag on him, and then it's actually a split for Markelov.
They kind of need the double AWP. Like you're going up against 2 AWPs, so they kind of need the AWP to find these early pickoffs. If they don't get any kind of advantage in numbers, then I don't know if they're really going to be able to breach the bomb sites. Far up again, Chris J. He really loves being aggressive on this long A, and that's exactly where FlipSid are moving to.
It's glass cannon as well for Simple to grab that op, by the way. No armor at all.
He's just trying to pick an advantage. That's all this really is. As now FlipSid, they're finally going to come in. So the flash is coming in very high towards long, and that's going to at least blind up Tabson. So they do get through 1. But Chris J able to pick up 1, and then, okay, he's down. He's down. Trouble galore.
Bondic, actually, that's a really good kill, because if Chris gets loose in a position like that, he's going to completely split them apart before they're even to the site. And then the rotations come in deep. Wow, I can't believe he didn't look. He walked directly through the smoke, and that was an easy kill for World Edit. Nico does find Markelov, but
he's in the middle.
Inside the site. He's got to watch out.
Gob is right on top of the site. He's going to have a look, but it's a little bit too late. The bomb has still gone down. And Gob, the defense, he'll be brought down from Preacher. 1-on-1 now. 28 life points versus 46, and Bondic will come out on top.
And he had to hit that shot. He heard him drop. 6 HP left. I thought he was going to try and go over the top. But that's 13. It's only 3 to go. And this is the point. Once it's established, once both teams start to get economy, the early advantage goes away. Momentum's not a factor at this point. It's all mentality and who could just push it over the finish line. Mouse might have the edge in terms of map and side, but FlipSid don't need much more. And they've been coming close even on the rounds they've lost. So if they can just continue to get bomb plants and eke out those close frags, a couple more health points going their way, it would very easy to be 14, 15 quite quickly on the board.
Again, 2 over on long. They're trying to defend in nice and close here. Mousesports, they're only on pistols, so they need to rely on their crossfire to work. And look where Chris J is, very high up. They're looking over towards that little pedestaled area above danger, but it's not going to be successful for them as the AKs just help them push through the long A site. And all the rotations coming over apart from one. But Simple doesn't really give a crap about that. There's only 1 on A, 1 on B. Markelov is at least able to find, the one, but that's,
Yeah, now FlipSid's looking very good. 2 in a row.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, not a lot of money left on CT, so we could be on a match point quite quickly. And the question is, do they go for a full force here? They will. And so they will get Famasas out for Tabson and Legia. And
there really is no choice.
It's play for it. They're going to play for it, because if they lose this, they're right back. The money bonus isn't up to full. It's only would be on 3 rounds after this, so they wouldn't be able to buy in the next round. This is it. This is essentially all in for Mousesports right now.
No play for the draw, play for the win right now. And, well, let's see if they can find at least some solid defense. There's 3 players committed over towards the B side again. And actually, look at the very forward position. Very forward position there from Tabson. And Chris J just trying to hold back on top of the truck area. He's only got the M4, so he's not playing with great range, but he's better than a Famis in that position. He's just trying to watch that long A, and they still haven't breached through. But down the mid area on the ramp, that's where they're getting very close. World Edit as well as Tabson, they're able to find each other. So is there that pickoff? As Markelov just trying to flame out the bottom of Skyfall with the flashes as well. He's not going to find anyone in there because the CTs are backed up a little bit further. Bondic just cannot get through. They're getting stalled up by all these nades. Chris J's actually moved his focus towards that mid, trying to get the pick over on World Edit, but he can't get it.
Watch from Bondic, though. Tabson's already dropped and is focusing on low mid. Bondic and Simple have a way to get in behind and force him out, and actually Blade's already going to get him, so it's all on Chris J in the backside of the site to try and stay alive. They have got the rotations there. Goppy's up.
He's protecting the rum at the back. And now, nice line. Really, really nice line coming in there. With the AWP able to catch out the rotation from Mouse, and they're forced to sit back behind the truck. But Chris J still is secret, and he's going to get 1. He's going to get 2. Looking for the 3rd, also up on the platform. He's sitting at the very, very back. Well, then it will rotate over. They got the nice little fire. He had nowhere to go, locked in a corner, and FlipSid will take 15-11 currently. Obviously, there's still 1 more round for a victory. But, yeah, it's pretty crippling. It's pretty crippling for Mousesports. They're only on pistols. Anything they've got, they spend it now.
And A seems to be a lot easier to execute again for this side as well, so B's still a little bit too congested. I do like that it pulls a few more defenders over there, but I have to say, the changes in the map, although they may not be perfect just yet, are a lot better, and this has been a great match on Cobble. Look at the aggression right now. That's information given, but a little bit of an all-out play from Gob.
They're very aggressive over on this A defense.
He has the shotgun too, so he was kind of hoping they would be up a little bit closer, but they weren't there. But no, it's great to see Cobble actually put up a great map. We've seen 2 Cobble teams. That might be the difference in all of it, but props to Valve for fixing up a lot of the issues.
Yeah. It's going to give you more diversity inside the map pool. Gob, if he's able to clutch this one right now, the rest of the battle's been going on over towards B halls, which is where Nico's now moved. He's looking up towards Skyfall, waiting for the drop down, but they're getting in. It's still very even as the trades, considering they're only on pistols, but it's still a 3v2. FlipSid need to wrap this up right now. And they're doing so by not planting the bomb. And they've only got 42 seconds left to do it.
Well, 42 is a lot. They're still in the middle of the map, so they can split this quite easily. Chris J is the only one with a rifle, and he's the first that they're going to come in
position.
With. But, oh, what a shot by Simple. Unbelievably good reactions as he actually took the first damage right in the crotch, and unbelievably good shot, and that's going to close it out. FlipSid's going to get it, 16-11. Mousesports did not expect that. They picked this map. Little did they know. You look at this map and you go, no one wants to play Cobble right now. That's an easy win. If we like it, no one else does. We'll take it.
It's like we've practiced this. It was like what Nuke was before, wasn't it?
Unfortunately, they picked the one team who also likes Cobble. So that FlipSid just got a free one out of that. That was, again, the pick of Mousesports. Now we're going to go to Mirage, which FlipSid have been working desperately on to try and improve their defensive side using a double op setup. I was told by their manager that it is Markelov that's going to be playing that, not Simple. So maybe we see that change after how Simple performed there. But if that's how they've been running it by default, we'll see what happens. And then, of course, if needed, we could go to Nuke, which comes down to whoever starts CT side is the massive advantage there. Mirage could still go either way. Chris is very good at holding off A. He loves to be aggressive with the AWP inside that apartment position. Connector's obviously strong to hold. It's a map that I could see going either way, but I mean, FlipSid looked very good on T side there, and again, it's another CT-sided map. If they can have another strong T performance, and then if this double op setup works for them and they address their issues CT side, Mouse is going to have their work cut out for them.
There'll be the small mental issue as well for Mousesports. They pick a map which they felt really, really confident on, and you get beaten on it. Now you're going to play on your opponent's map as well. Is this really what you were wanting to come into? Not really.
No, and I actually, if I think back as far as December, even with the previous roster, Mousesports were unsuccessful in their attempt at ESEA LAN on Mirage quite handedly. I think they only had single-digit rounds, but I have seen them play it since. I've seen them play it in some various EU matches for ESEA.
Yep.
They look a little bit better with it. It really comes down to if the CT side can be on for FlipSid, because their T side looks great. If they can continue to get entry kills and execute accordingly. It's not quite as opened up. The A site's not as open, obviously. On Cobble, it's quite open. Mirage is a lot more congested.
Yep.
It's going to be smoke executions. It's going to be flashes over. There's been a lot of change in meta. Na'Vi was the first team to actually do it. They were the first team that actually did the triple smoke setup that now Kaboom, Keyed All-Stars have been given a lot of credit for, where you smoke off shadow box, the bomb box in between, and then back towards CT to divide the bomb site. That's been changing up. I don't know if FlipSid plays that, but A's got a lot of opportunity, whereas B is still your strength in numbers. You're looking for picks. You're rushing it into the site.
Yeah.
Both play styles work. I think FlipSid's probably going to stick with an A side. Bondic is your entry fragger. We'll see if he can find anything from B apartments. I mean, if his shot's on, that's even more opportunity and options for them.
Yeah, well, we'll look forward to seeing that map, but only in a moment. We're going to have ourselves a short break, so grab yourself a beverage and, of course, visit the Cobblestone. We'll be back after this short break.